DMC5 Nero primer. So a little bit of context. So I've played the game for about 2.5 weeks, which isn't that long, but I feel like I can give you a brief overview of Nero and what he's capable of doing. So in my 2.5 weeks of playing the game, these are my results thus far. I've cleared Human, Devil Hunter and Son of Sparta, and I've S-ranked everything on those difficulty levels. So we're going to hop into the Void, and we're going to pick Nero. One thing I always recommend is to purchase every Nero ability and skill by, farming red orbs essentially, is what you're doing. The best place to do this is Mission 13 as Dante. Using the Faust hat, you can get about 120,000 orbs a minute, something stupid. So make sure you have one of every Devil Breaker as well. That's going to help you out in the long run. You can test strategies. So the Void mode is really solid because it allows you to practice moves, combos and different situations. So this is the first thing that I would practice, is the lock-on mechanic. So as you're locked onto the enemy, you can do a few things. You can roll. Rolling is very important because it allows you to evade attacks. I don't roll that often, so it's not something that I would do personally. One thing that I do want to address is jump cancelling. So every enemy in the game, they have a hitbox. What this means is if you buy the enemy step ability, you can constantly jump off the enemy's hitbox. This has like 4 different reasons why you want to do this. So first and foremost, you build star rank. It doesn't build that much, but every little helps. The second thing it does, it resets your jump ability. So if I jump onto the enemy, I can keep doing as many jumps as I can normally do. It just resets it. That's the benefit. The second benefit is it keeps you in an airborne position. So in Devil May Cry games, if you're grounded, that's like a bad thing. You're much safer whilst airborne in an aerial state, because most attacks will not be able to hit you. This is a benefit of being in the air. The other thing jump cancelling does is it gives you the ability to combo into attacks that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So it improves your combo ability, which is very important. And it's something that is a necessity to practice and to learn. So what can you jump cancel? You can jump cancel, aka JC, off many different attacks. For instance, the breakage move of your Devil Breakers. So if you launch Breaker, you can essentially cancel the Breaker with a jump cancel. Now, an easy thing to practice jump cancelling, if for a beginner, is going to be, you want to do a launcher, triangle, and as soon as the triangle connects, you jump cancel. You can do the same with 2 triangles, like this. If you've never done jump cancelling before, and this is your first time, it might take you a little bit to grasp this concept, but it's not very difficult once you learn it. Now, you can also jump cancel things like Payline. So you could do launcher, attack, and that would be Payline normally, but you can jump cancel that animation. So, let's give it a shot. There you go. Launcher, aerial T, pay line, jump cancel. Do it a couple more times. Just to get the rhythm down. You can see my inputs on the bottom left. Now, another thing you can potentially do is you can jump cancel the move caliber. So if we do a normal caliber after a launcher, that was pay line. That is the animation of a caliber. You can jump cancel this like that. Let's do it again. See? Jump cancel. Now, you can do something pretty technical after the jump cancel. You can immediately shoot with a revolver. So you're doing a launcher, caliber, shoot. That was a late example. It should look a bit more clean, like that, like crisp, like fast motion. Now, the beautiful thing with this, if you can do it, you can actually do more than one repetition. So you could do, oops, that was not what I wanted to do. So you could do something like that, even though I missed the second gunshot there. It's just the timing thing. But you can see I'm consistent at doing that at least. You can do it though, I have done it in videos, but there you go. See, I get there in the end, I'm still learning. So that's something you can do. But if you want to really get used to doing jump cancelling, I would recommend trying this setup. So you want to do launcher, when you're in the air, you want to cancel pay line, and then try and cancel 2 reps of caliber. So I'm going to try and demonstrate that. I need this guy away from the wall. Like that. That's 3 jump cancels. Excuse me. That's 3 jump cancels in a combo. Really interesting to do, and it also improves your style tremendously. One thing that I always learn how to do is unique properties of attacks. So if I do shuffle, it results in a hard knockdown state, but the opponent is very far away from you. Same applies for a stinger. So they both cause a hard knockdown. You can also do a ground bounce with hard way. The other way is launcher. So this enemy is susceptible to all 4 of those things. The issue is if you do shuffle, you can stinger, but then he's far away. So you have to use the wire snatch. This is how you build combos. So you could do shuffle, streak, bring him up, and then you could do potentially the advanced shit. Like that. It depends what your motivation is. But that's just an example. Now, there's something in the game called bringer knuckle cancelling. So what does this mean? If you just pull out a triangle, that is your attack, that's all you're getting. But if you piano squaring, you'll get this. You see? So this does 2 things. It gives you increased range, and it also gives you increased damage, and it improves your style rank. So you want to try and practice doing 2 hits of this. So you're doing triangle, square, but you can see my inputs. The difference between the 2 buttons isn't that much. What this does is very useful because you can do the same thing with, say, streak, and that stops him being propelled halfway across the map. You can also do the same thing with shuffle. So you can do shuffle into streak, 2 hits, exceed, combo, roulette spin, jump cancel, shot, back down to earth. You see? Like, that's a little bit more advanced than like the tutorial, but it just gives you an idea of what I'm talking about, which is, after all, the end goal. So what else can you potentially do with Nero? Let's talk about the revolver. So his blue rose, if you just shoot normally, you're not getting a lot of damage, right? So if you charge a little bit, you can do like a volley of bullets, basically. If you charge all the way, it does take some time. I map my gun to R2 instead of square. Square is actually my grab move. He'll get shot, he blows up, and then he'll get a second explosion. So you can extend combos with this. Sometimes I don't use it in combos. Sometimes it's not necessary. But Nero has a lot of tools at his disposal. He can do something called Exceed. So the Exceed system works in two different ways. You can manually decide to rev the weapon manually. So you don't really want to be doing this unless, you know, you're just walking around, running around, traversing the map. You can build it up to give you more damage. Now it does different things, so it improves the damage of your move, and it will also improve the effect. So if I do a level 1 Exceed Stinger, that is a lot different than the standard animation. Okay? Now, the other way to gain Exceed is by basically timing your Exceed to a precise timing. So an easy way to practice is if you do a single triangle slash, I would say halfway, I'd say before the weapon touches the ground, like press the L2, and more often than not, if you time it correctly, you'll get at least one level of Exceed. You can get 3 levels, but this is difficult to time. I believe you have a 2-frame window to get a max Exceed charge. Obviously, I'm not very good at getting the max one. I'm pretty consistent at getting there. As soon as I say I'm not consistent, I get the 3. But the max one is the most powerful version, because if we do, say, shuffle, which is this move, that is a lot different than the standard shuffle, which is simply this. So that's something you want to be able to incorporate into your gameplay. However, if you want to be very technical, you can do both the Bring a Knuckle cancel, the standard attack, and Exceed all at the same time. It's quite difficult to get used to it, and the timing is a bit strict. As you can see, I'm doing three things at once. I'm doing the attack, I'm Bring a Knuckle cancelling the attack, and I'm timing the Exceed, or trying to. You can potentially get a level 3 Exceed, but once again, I'm not familiar with the timing. So when it comes to like combo ability, it depends on the enemy type really. One combo I like to use is this. I tried to get the Exceed in the air, but my timing's off. I normally do the double down skill, but I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to go for. But each enemy is different. So there's a few enemy specific information that I've discovered through my training sessions. So the Hell Antenora is one of those. So let's put his action on, and I will demonstrate some tech that I've discovered, because this enemy caused me a few problems. So he has a few things that he'll do. Most notably is after a knockdown, he goes into rage mode. Now this is unique to this enemy. So if I shuffle, how can I stop this? See, he has hyper armor. But if you time your attack correctly, you can actually clash your weapon with his. as you can see. However, there is a much easier way of avoiding this mode. So if I streak him, he's going to rage, grab your arm, takes him out of the animation, and you can then combo him. See? You can combo him. It's very, very important to be able to get away from that move. Not today, son. It's 3 damage essentially. As you can see.
Let's get airborne.
That's one little bit of technology that I discovered. Another one is the Hell Judeka. I always say the names wrong, but it doesn't matter. So this particular enemy has a very nasty habit of teleporting everywhere. So it's very important to try and prevent him at teleporting. Now, there's actually a little loop you can do against him. But you have to do this. So you do the grab. He gets hit. You do streak. 1 hit into roulette spin. And you grab him again. And you can rinse and repeat this until he dies. And he'll never teleport away from you if you do it correctly. It's very important because this enemy is quite difficult to beat otherwise. As you can see, you can loop him. You can't do shit. So that's another piece of technology that I've discovered. But it doesn't stop there. I have more to share. So the next one is Scudo Angelo. Now, this enemy is unique because he has a shield. So the issue is you cannot wire snatch this enemy because he's got a shield, right? So how can you circumvent this? That was a parry. Well, there's a few things you can do. You can do the most simplest technique, which is to just jump over him and then start to do damage. That's one thing you can do. And you can't really do a whole lot if you choose to do so. Oops. Messed my combo up definitely there. That's one thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do against this particular enemy is you can break the shield. The issue with breaking the shield is he needs to do the attack where he lunges towards you with the shield, which is something he doesn't do a lot unless he's blocking. So if he blocks, that's the attack you want, but it's very difficult to actually land that. But you can break the shield that way. I'm not very good at doing that. But there's the breakage. I actually used the shuffle mechanic there to break the shield. Then he's susceptible to all kinds of damage. Like, he can't do anything at this point. So you can bring your knuckle cancelling, you can go in for full damage, which is obviously something that is beneficial to your gameplay. Doesn't matter what combo you want to use, you can just use it. Now there's another piece of enemy technology that I want to showcase, and that is against Death Scissors. Okay? Now, Death Scissors is one of those enemies that is very annoying to fight against, but he has a very easy way of defeating him. The issue is your timing, like that. If you time your attack with the scissor, you can actually one-hit KO this enemy, which is obviously something that is very beneficial to be able to practice. I'm not very good at the timing, apart from that hit that he just did. So that's something that you do want to learn. Now, another piece of technology is the Hellbat. Okay? So, let me show you what I mean with this particular enemy. This enemy is kind of annoying to fight against, in all honesty. However, there's a unique little thing you can do once the enemy is defeated. So what do I mean by that? Maybe I could have put his damage on. That could have helped me tremendously. Is he dead now? Right, let's put his damage on. I actually made a mistake there. So, if we put his damage on, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, let's just stick a bomb in him because that doesn't get old. Detonate the bomb. Right, he's nearly dead, right? You can throw him during this animation and he will create an area of effect, which is very useful for obviously dealing damage to a crowd. The other enemy that I have a little bit of technology against is Fury. The issue is Fury is a very difficult enemy to get used to, but I need ragtime in order to showcase this. Which I believe is the next one. That's ragtime. So you can slow down time, hit him twice, and then grab him. And then you can ragtime again, 2 hits, grab, and you can rinse and repeat essentially. But he managed to evade that for some reason. I guess it wasn't quick enough. Nope. 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 Ragtime. 2 hits. Hang on. Let me... if I take the enemy action off, it does work without the action, or with the action, but it's very difficult to time, unfortunately. So I think it's going to be easier for me to show you this way. So let's go back to ragtime. Oh, destroy this one, destroy this one. Right. So ragtime, 2 hits, grab. Then you ragtime again, 2 hits, grab. It's like a loop. Ragtime, 2 hits, grab. And you can do this indefinitely until he either dies or he hits the ground. So that's something you definitely want to be able to practice. Now, as far as like DMD mode is concerned, I need to reset, but one thing that you can do that I discovered against Scudo Angelo, for instance, if his shield is up, you can actually get away from the shield if you do ground pound, as you can see. I cancelled that too early. Yeah, I cancelled it too early. So that's something that you can do. You can ground pound him. So any point when he's got his shield up, ground pound, full damage combo. You get punished. And that's a very useful thing to know. Another thing that you want to do is you want to do air taunts. You don't want to taunt on the ground, simply because the animation takes too long. It's not worth your time learning how to do the taunt on the ground, because you're not really going to have the opportunity to do it. So if we go back to, let's say, the Hellcaner as an example. So I would definitely recommend like certain Devil Breakers. Overture is very good because it plants the bomb and you can detonate on reaction, and then as it comes down you can take a combo. Like that. Now you could also extend combos with Devil Trigger. Now his Devil Trigger form is activated by pressing right instead of L1, and you can actually do something called Showdown, which is probably his most damaging single attack. You're not staged during the animation, like the startup animation, so you really don't want to like use this like in bad situations, but it can be useful to practice how to caliber cancel because everything is quicker. So if my Devil Trigger is regenerating, I can demonstrate this principle. So the most I can do normally is about 4 of these caliber cancels. That was an epic fail. Punchline. You know, you can do so many combos. Pretty incredible, really. The amount of diversity that this character has in his arsenal. I mean, he just gets destroyed, man, from Devil Trigger. Let's go to player settings. Let's say we have normal. So how do we practice the caliber cancel properly? So in order to caliber cancel, it's quite difficult to learn the timing, really. You might have to like pause the video, but because you're doing quite a lot of inputs in a short space of time. Even more so if you're going to use, let's say, pay line cancel. But one thing you can do after pay line that is very useful is once you pay line in the air, hold the triangle and then release, so you have the hard way buffered in, like the input, because you can then launch, combo, whatever you want to do. It gives you that flexibility. You can also exceed off many different things. I believe you can exceed off his air taunt, but I haven't really practiced that. But I'm sure you can exceed off that. Yeah, you can. It's just the timing is a little awkward. So this is like a very quick and dirty illustration of how to improve your character somewhat. Like I said, the issue is consistency. It's great being able to do these swaggy combos, but you have to be consistent. You have to spend time practicing, like how to do these. I mean, I failed that time, but most of it I managed to get down in my muscle memory. Missed my exceed. But it was only today that I started implementing pay lines, jump cancel, and the Devil Breaker cancel into my repertoire, which adds another layer, adds another dimension to your gameplay. The problem with Nero that makes him difficult to use is being able to bring a knuckle cancel and exceed. I feel like if you can learn how to jump cancel, like when you get familiar at doing it, like just pay line cancelling, or even practicing how to BKC your attacks, you could do a lot more damage. In fact, just to showcase the difference in damage, let's say I do a stinger, 90 points of damage, and let's say we do a regular shuffle, 90 points of damage as well. So this time I'm going to bring a knuckle, cancel both of those attacks, and you're gonna see the damage difference. So that does 112, which is 22 more damage, and that did 23 more damage, I think. Something stupid. It's really good for damage output. One thing that you do want to practice against Hell Antora, the second enemy. Let's put action off and everything, so he's not going to attack back. Is if he goes into rage mode, which he will do at some point, the combo that you want to do against this guy is going to be off a hard way. So you want to ground bounce him, and then you want to do the 1, 2, 3. Actually, you could do that. Actually, you could just do 1, 2, 3, land that pay line. Not pay line. What am I thinking? Like, I don't know the moves off by heart. I just do what I'm used to doing. But essentially, what you want to do is you want to do, I think it's Red Queen combo D, I believe. Yeah, Red Queen combo D is what I'm doing. Then, during the last triangle, I'm actually pressing and holding that triangle, so I can pay line after it. The issue is the timing of the last triangle. Then you want to break a knuckle, cancel, Red Queen combo 2 launcher, roulette spin, jump, and ideally speaking you want to do 3 times triangle in the air. Into pay line, into another, into jump grab. That actually kills him on DMD difficulty, provided of course you don't mess it up. So I don't know if I can change the difficulty in the options of this. If not, I can just change the difficulty and put it on DMD so I can demonstrate this concept. It's good being able to do death combos, because when you play the higher difficulty levels, you really do need to be able to optimize your damage output. So if I say mission select and I just say DMD, I'm not going to play the mission, of course. I'm just doing this so I can play DMD on void mode, which is also going to be different because enemies can devil trigger. So devil trigger is not exclusive to you, the player. The enemies can do the same as well once their HP reaches a certain threshold. However, it's different for the Scudo Angelo, because his shield, once broken, will ignite his devil trigger form. That much I do know. It also changes his defense, and it changes his stun ability, essentially. Normally, you can launch them from the get-go. However, let's say I'm fighting a Hellcaner. If I do a standard launcher and nothing more, he will launch the enemy every single time. However, if he's in devil trigger form, I have to stun him first. Usually, this means I have to hit him 2 or 3 times before the launcher, and then I can just combo him to death, essentially. So now we're on DMD mode. The enemies will devil trigger, so this is very important. So let me try and showcase the difference. So enemy settings, the Hellcaner, we'll put the damage and the action on. Now shuffle is a very useful move. because it allows you to evade attacks, and it also gives you the ability to parry attacks. But again, the timing is an issue. You have to get used to the timing. But it's a good punish, and it's a good combo starter. That is a death combo. As you can see, the enemy got killed from it. So that's a kill combo with the Hellcaner. A kill combo with the Hell Antinora is going to be this. If I remember what it is and I can perform it. On DMD difficulty, this enemy has 1500 HP. So let's wait for his attack to subside. I believe I missed an input somewhere because I only did 1000. Just grab him out of that, and then you can go back into combo. But because he's double triggered, you're not going to do that much damage to him. As you can see, my busters aren't doing a lot of damage while he's in DT form. I'm trying to remember what the extension was of my little combo. I did have a kill combo for this particular enemy. So let's try again. This phone is pissing me off. Like, I'm trying to like do a primary and I keep getting constant phone calls. So let's try again. Oh, almost. It's like 2 hits of that and then you can go into whatever. See, as you can see, 1500 damage will kill. I will do a video at a later date showing the kill combo when I don't have a phone constantly pecking my head. So, yeah, very important to be able to learn stuff like that. Obviously, some enemies are more tanky than others, like Scudo Angelo. Because of the shield, it stops you being able to wire snatch him, which is a big issue. I also believe if he's devil triggered, I cannot ground pound him from the get-go. That's why you need to try and kill the enemy before they devil trigger. As you can see, these have like quite a bit of HP as well. I think they have about 1500. Yeah, 1500 killed. I did have a pretty good combo for this, but I don't remember what I actually did. If I'm not mistaken, I probably did something daft like shuffle. Is it that? Yeah, 1400. That's a kill combo. That's an S rank combo. Very, very useful indeed to be able to do it. Parry the attack. Into... Oh, he didn't get launched there. I'm very surprised about that. Like I said, I haven't got like super good consistency because I'm still learning myself. I'm still learning the ropes. The timing is a little bit off sometimes, but I can do a little bit of flashy stuff, nothing major. I mean, if you go to the enemies, I think the enemy with the most HP in the game is actually the Nobody. Just to demonstrate how much HP this enemy has in Dante Must Die mode. I believe he has 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. He has a ton of HP. So if he's sticking with an overture.
Now make a wish. Get out of my sight! Too easy! Big arm! Here's something up!
Can grab him. That does a lot of damage. A full punchline would do a lot of damage if he didn't evade. I don't really use Helter Skelter a lot. Like, it's pretty situational, really. I feel like if you know that you can obviously grab the enemy when he's down, that does a lot of damage. I mean, that did like over 200. Obviously, if you're in Devil Trigger, I think you do even more. Look at the health of this thing. He's actually Devil Triggered now. So because he's Devil Triggered, that means he's like close to dying. But he likes to do these little bomb attacks. Look at the health, man. The health on this guy is real. Yeah, you need to stop firing those. You might even have 6k, you know. More than 6k. What? I knew he had a shitload of HP, but I didn't think it was that OP. So, yeah, to summarize, you wanna practice like making combos, like practice jump cancelling, practice ring and knuckle cancelling, practice the exceed timing, and eventually it should stick. Like the muscle memory. It's very important to utilize training modes, because if you don't, you're really doing yourself a disservice. You're not going to learn. I mean, I've played for 2.5 weeks and I can already play at this level, which is it's okay, I guess. I do make some mistakes, and I have certain situations where my idea's off. Like, I have the idea, but I don't have the execution. But you can do some fancy combos with Nero. I like how he plays. You want to practice these cancels. Like, all the players you see online, they're doing all this kind of cancelling. As you can see, I'm practicing like my caliber cancel. Practice exceed. You want to practice all these different maneuvers. Practice trying to learn how to incorporate devil breakers into your combo, because that'll make you a better player. Like, a lot better. I mean, you could probably like start on the ground during punchline, put the hood up, and then, you know, comboing further. One thing that I haven't got used to yet is being able to do an air combo while charging like a devil breaker, so you can do things like this, like Shoryuken basically. But you want to play around with things, but this is very important now. The enemy has gone into devil trigger mode. So before, when I did a shuffle, he got knocked away. Now he just takes it. If I stinger him, he just takes it. But on the third hit, he takes it. I have to do 3 hits before he gets launched. So if I bring him back up, 3 hits, launcher, into combo. That's one of the key differences that Devil Trigger gives you, and it provides to the opponent. I don't even think I can ground pound him at this point. I can. I can ground pound straight through his Devil Trigger, which is something that Shuffle cannot do and Streak cannot do. That's something that's going to be very important for people to know, because if you can convert straight into a little bit of damage after a ground pound, even if he's in DT form, that's going to help you convert into damage. Obviously you don't want to do what I did and drop the combo, but you get the idea. You get the gist of what I'm trying to accomplish. But every enemy can DT. Now, the difference in double trigger is if I try and grab him while he's in DT, this is a unique animation with this character. You can actually do a follow-up attack. So, if I mash, I think it's the gun, he'll shoot more times. So you get more damage, essentially. Yeah, getting used to that exceed timing is definitely tricky. I don't think I played like that bad really, considering I've only played for 2.5 weeks. I'm still getting used to things though, and that's it. The game's a big, like, it's a learning curve. Everyone learns different, right? You learn at different paces, and you might pick things up quicker than others. But just play around with the training mode, that's what it's there for. I feel like a lot of people don't utilize the mode correctly, so they have a hard time dealing with certain situations. The issue with this mode is you can't directly have Devil Trigger active in the enemy settings, which is kind of annoying. The other thing that is a little bit annoying is you can only practice against demons, so no bosses. This is another problem. I know you can do Bloody Palace, but the issue with that is you have to get to the specific stage in Bloody Palace mode to practice the boss with the character that you played as. So that is a disadvantage in my opinion. But definitely practice this sort of stuff. It's going to be invaluable on DMD mode, which I'll be streaming probably in the next day or so. And I need to get these down in my muscle memory. So when the time comes and I fight this particular enemy, I can just cheese. Well, I won't call it cheesing him. It's a strategy, solid, it works. It does take like 3 reps to kill him, because he has 2,000 life. But he's no longer a threat now because of this. So that's going to do it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for people who tuned in. I apologise for all the phone calls during this, but I'm definitely going to enjoy my DMD playthrough. Although I'm not looking forward to V. I don't know how I'm going to do it with V. I guess I'm going to have to use gold orbs or something to get around this. But thank you for watching. I hope this was informative. I hope people learn some cool things out that maybe you didn't know. And I'll catch you next time, man. Peace.